Hello, it's me, Annalisa, with My Spiritual Friend. I'm back. It's Sunday, May 16th, 2021. I hope everybody is well. Please like and subscribe, share this with your friends, tell everybody about me. I am a word of mouth person. I don't advertise anywhere. So all of my clients find me by the gods of the algorithms of YouTube and word of mouth. So thank you, everybody, for being here, for coming back and supporting me, and any new subscribers, thank you for showing up. As always, all readings and as in accordance with the law are for the purposes of entertainment only. I am not a doctor, a lawyer, a therapist, or a financial advisor. If you need one of those, please seek those. Please hit that like button. I just realized I forgot to put any kind of color on my lips so they look good. So I'm going to use this stuff now because whatever. I hope everybody is well. Hello, Lightning Spark. Welcome back. Cindy, welcome back. I remember this last name, and I think it's Rachel is your first name. So I'm saying welcome back because I cannot say your screen name. Forgive me. I hope everybody's well. So if you want to have a question answered, please. I see KK's already included the PayPal link. Last week we had some issues with the PayPal. Sometimes it does get laggy where you pay, it doesn't show up. I figured out what the issue was on my end when I saw the thing. You guys actually did pay. For whatever reason, it wasn't showing up. But for those two people, that didn't happen. For Emily, I funded her money since she had ended up paying a second time. And for the other person, I did an email reading for her really quick. So everybody got what they needed to do. My business is all built on integrity and just me doing what's right. So I try to honor that and be good to others. Alessandra, I will check for you just one moment. I hope everybody's well. I don't have any big news. I've been working on just manifesting. Oh, I found another guy on YouTube that I like. So maybe you guys might like him too. His name is Dylan James. He's like mindset kind of coach. And his channel is all about SPs, but really you can apply, again, if you can manifest for a specific person, you can apply that across the board to anything. And I really like his because he's super focused on getting right within yourself and loving yourself and healing those belief systems because that's what's going to manifest all the stuff in your life. And it's true. I actually emailed it to KK, one of the videos. I was like, oh, you got to watch this guy. And she said, it's interesting how everything comes back to mental health, and everything really does come back to mental health and self-concept. And that's what he talks about. And I know a few of you on here, I don't know if you're here. Hi, Broken Justice. Oh, you're Chatterbox. Wait, you're Chatterbox? Changed it? Welcome back then. But hi, Mary. Are you feeling better? Are you getting perky again? So it really is I know some of you on here are like, why isn't he coming to me? Or when's this going to happen? Or you're still kind of struggling. And it really does come down to self-concept. And it's something we all work on, right? We all have been given this old programming that needs reprogramming, right? It's like healing the generational thing. It's about this old programming that gets passed down. And it's really up to us, if we want things to be better, to reprogram our brains and reprogram our thought processes and our belief systems. I joined a women's empowerment circle. I'm not going to name it because I want it to be personal. I want to be able to feel safe but it was really, I can't wait to share with them some eye-opening things that happened for me afterwards. And so when I say to you, we are all continue to be a work in progress, and it's, an onion being peeled back. It's everything's an onion being peeled back. So, enjoy the journey, right? Hi, Devry. Yay! Yay, Devry. I want to say this out loud because I know some people say when they watch this back, they're like, it's hard to follow, and you get so excited. So Devry said, hey, everybody, and Annalisa, I've had a lot of stuff come full circle so far, and and it now makes me truly believe manifestation is real. So thank you for being positive. Manifestation is real. Manifestation is real. Manifestation is real. Some stuff takes longer. And that's like part of my thing is like trusting divine timing, right? So it's like, I get impatient. Like I get impatient, but it is real. It's 1,000% real. Yeah. So that's exactly what Ali said. The lady said, it's really important to figure out what it is that keeps you from believing it is. That's your belief systems that stop you. So if you can figure out the root of that and shift it, listen, it's not about just manifesting stuff. It's when you figure out why am I not happy? Like when you're figuring all of that stuff, it's the core of everything, right? So if you can shift that, like, wouldn't it be really cool if everybody just walked around in bliss and happiness and like recognizing the power that they had within them and recognizing that like you literally create your experiences. Okay, wait, hang on. Broken Justice, who used to be Chatterbox. If any of you remember, I wanted you to know that everything that you said was right on about my manifestations weren't, and I got a wonderful vehicle and a wonderful price, and it was paid in full. You are welcome. You are welcome. You're welcome. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. That's like paid in full. Woo! Like that's beautiful. I think that's like the best. I don't know. My hair is still really wet. We went and I had an appointment this morning, and then I went looking for shoes because my kids apparently grew overnight in the last, I just bought brand new shoes for my 4-year-old in February, and she's already grown out of them. And I think she's grown an inch since February. So, her feet are bigger. I went to look for shoes, and then we went and did mini golf and had lunch. So my hair is wet. I didn't shower before mini golf. The weather was so nice. Oh, Mary's got hers figured out. She'll tell me later. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. All right, Rachel, I'll look for yours. Hi, Maya. This is so exciting. I'm so, so happy for you. Okay. Cindy wants to know what to be able to tell whether Elijah's Medicaid will cover his primary nursing services. Been fighting with insurance for a while. Difficulty getting him in the nursing home. Okay, I will look at that, Cindy. You're first up, so let's just get going, shall we? And then we'll keep congratulating each other and supporting each other and all of that good stuff. All right, Allie, I'll look for you in just a moment. Lightning Spark, I will look for you too. My children are running around like a herd of elephants upstairs. God only knows what's going on. My husband's running errands at the grocery store. So we may get interruptions today. Who knows? We'll see what the day brings, but I trust the universe will take care of it. I'm learning to let go of worry that'll happen. Iquandala, is that how I say it? I like that. From EQ, so we're on a dating website. Will I meet someone significant? Okay. All right. So I got Debbie. I've got Allie for one. Y'all, I love pens, right? So nerdy, but this really is I got this for Mother's Day. It's I love pens. And now on my feed, pens come up, articles that people review. Different fountain pens and vacuum style fountain pens. And I am nerding out over my pen. So there we go. Lightning Spark, I gotcha. Alessandra, I have you. And Lana, I have you. All right, so let's answer some questions and see where we're at. I don't know about anybody else, but last week I felt down. And then when I went to my circle, they were like, oh, such heavy energy. I was like, oh yeah, it was. And then I feel good today. I don't know about anybody else, but it was just I just feel there's something a lot lighter and happier and all of that. KK, thank you as always. Rachel, I didn't get yours yet, but it doesn't mean it's not there. It just sometimes you remember it's a little slow. So I'll keep looking. It doesn't mean I don't have it. It just means sometimes they're slow. But I've got a few questions ahead of where you would be. I'm going to throw your name on the list, but I'm going to, just in case, I'm just going to put a little line here for you, just in case so you don't get bumped way down the end, but I'll check for it. Okay. All right. So Miss Cindy wants to know about Elijah. So when I read that initially, what I saw was, so I feel like he will, but what I saw was it feels like they either didn't check mark something, or it's like they're showing me like literally a check mark box where it's like it's something's not right. So they coded it wrong, but it's like one small little thing. It's not the whole thing that's wrong. It's like someone needs to go over it with a fine tooth comb and see that there's something that was missed, and that's creating the issue with it. So it feels like once that's figured out, then it kind of goes into play. And I feel like maybe 2 to 3 more weeks, because I'm hearing 2 to 3 weeks. So it feels like 2 to 3 more weeks before it's resolved. You know what it might be? Because they told me 70%. So it might be that Medicaid covers 70, and then the secondary, I guess your health insurance wouldn't be the secondary, would cover the other 30. Like it might be split, like a 70-30 split or something like that. Does that sound about right? But it feels like he'll be covered regardless for it. It just feels like there's also something that needs to be fixed, like fine tooth comb over the coding. I don't know about anybody else, but like insurance is nuts. My husband is supposed to get like his physical therapy after his surgery is like insane to try and get. Like it's been such a juggle. And then his doctor's assistant was like, I looked at this and you should be covered 100% without having to get approval. So the fact that he's like, it's going through all this stuff, it's like it's a mess. They're all a mess. And I don't even know what kind of Rubik's Cube person set this up thinking it would be a great idea to try and line up all the stickers. But that's my feeling, is like it's just there's like one little thing that either got missed or got checked and shouldn't have gotten checked, but it's like literally like one little coding, and then once that's fixed, it goes. And so it might take a little bit of time, like another 2 to 3 weeks. But I also feel like there might be a split where it's like he'll be covered 100%, but it's like between the two. Does that resonate when I say it that way? Okay. So if it's Social Security is the problem, I don't know, whichever one it is, that's the issue. It's like there's one little thing that's off. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get it figured out. Because sometimes you get passed through to the wrong person. Like they just kind of jumble you around, and you keep getting, and it feels like I finally get that one person who like goes, oh, it's this. It's like nothing, and then I'm done, and I've got to figure it out. I cannot even imagine having to deal with that. Is there a social worker from the hospital that could help you sort of figure that out? Like I know that you understand all of that stuff, but is there someone who could like look at that paperwork and know his style of paperwork and what needs to be done? Because that's like a care coordinator has helped. I still feel like the hospital has a specialist for that. Don't you wish? I wish there was a service for people who are like, new chapter, I didn't check yet. Okay, I'll check in just a minute. She worked with you to call Social Security and Medicaid office. Okay. I feel like there should be a service provider. So if anybody wants to start a new business, hey, that like they help you navigate the system. Because y'all, it's insane. It's insane. Our whole healthcare system needs an overhaul majorly. She works with the hospital. Okay. I literally feel like it's just one thing. And it's like, if they just saw it, then it would be like, oh, this shouldn't have been done right. Please hit the like button, subscribe, share me with your friends. All right. Does that satisfy your answer, Cindy, or your query? Rachel, I got yours. See, I told you, sometimes it just takes a minute. Wait, didn't you tell me your last name? Your name was Rachel last week? Maya, I have yours. That's it for now. But again, remember, it just takes sometimes a minute to like, even if it shows up on your end, it takes a minute on my end, sometimes longer. Eleanor, I have yours. Hi, Dan. Thank you. Okay. So Linda wants a general reading. This is completely symbolic. And so I'm trying to ask them which area of life this is applying to, because I'm like, because they literally showed me you, like they said, they showed me you, well, not you, a person, I can't see the head, but it's supposed to symbolize you, stepping up to the plate. Like, you know, when you step up to the batter's box and you're like tapping the dirt off your feet and getting ready to swing. And they're saying like, step up to the plate, get ready to play. So it feels like whatever it is that you've been manifesting. And so I'm trying to ask, and it does feel more career oriented rather than like love or family, but it just feels like everything that you've been wanting, everything you've been manifesting is right here. It's right here. It's right here. So it's like, get ready. Cause it's like, it feels like it's going to hit and you're going to go. Like, you just started a healthy eating problem. Okay. There's still something career oriented with it. Does that make sense with career? Because I don't feel like it didn't feel very like, it didn't feel health to me. Hi, Urban Lady. Linda, does this make sense for career though? Because it does feel like that for me. It feels like something's coming and I'm ready to go. Like, you have a hobby business that I'm thinking of expanding. This is the time. It's time to go. Like, this is like, step up to the plate and get ready to go. So sounds interesting. I don't know why they're giving me baseball references for you, but maybe you like baseball. I heard swing and a miss. So like the first pitch over the plate is a swing and a miss. Do not. So here's the thing. You're going to go out there. If you're doing it, you're like, oh, what was she talking about? Like, I'm like playing. What is this? Like, that doesn't mean that you're out. It doesn't mean that you stop playing. Like, no, a swing and a miss. Okay, so I have a strike. Big deal. I still have at least two more chances at bat, right? I don't feel that way for you. I feel like you're going to keep, like, it's going to feel like it's not, as you're doing it, it's going to feel like you're going to have a full count and like, but you're going to go, like, you're going to still go. You still, even when you have a full count, right? 2 strikes, three balls. Right? Is it 3 balls? I can't remember. I haven't played in so long. So you're still like, so they're telling me full count, right? So you're up to bat, you still have another one. And that's when you go, like, that's when you crack a home run. So it's like, even if you feel like when you're doing this job and you're starting out this little business that's going to grow, it doesn't mean nothing. Like, oh, I just like you keep at it because you aren't out. You aren't down and out. Like, you still have opportunities. Keep going, keep at it, keep at it. That's what I'm telling you. So I feel like you need to know that so that you don't get down while you're going through the process and maybe it doesn't work out perfectly the first time, second or third time. Because right when you have a full count, you still keep playing. You still keep playing like you've got a chance. My notes are sticking to my okay. I have little sticky notes all over here and in a pile and whatever. Maya sent for a second. Does that make sense when I say that to you, Miss Linda? You're welcome. There you go. Maybe they're doing baseball references because it's spring. God only knows. I don't know. I'm not I like watching games. It's fine, whatever. But I am definitely not a sports person. Again, I probably ran into pro basketball players when I lived in Hoboken, and the Nets or whoever the hell it was that was in New Jersey that's now in Brooklyn were here. And again, no clue. I could be standing next to a whole football team and might think, oh, maybe they're a football team. Wouldn't know who anybody was. We're watching that, what is it, that rock TV show that's like, and they're mentioning pro football players that he played with, and I was like, huh, who? No clue. Don't give it up. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going is what they're showing me. All right. So Starry Sky is not live, but she wanted to know about what stones she should carry. And I got to be honest, like I buy half of these stones and I forget what they are. Like I know this one has ruby in it, but I know they have a meaning to them when I buy them. And so then I have to like research and Google and all of that stuff. This is a rainbow fluorite, and I really like this one. I think it's really pretty. I know amethyst, whatever, and my smoky quartz. But I did see one, and I don't have it here in my mind's eye. Let me see. I'm going to get up real quick because I think I have it over here. Now, there's my Apache tears. I have a little dish of rocks over in the corner. Anyway, and I call them rocks instead of stones because, well, whatever. Anyway, so sorry. I can't find it, but it's an Apache tear. And it's like it's a black and white stone. And it's I looked it up and have it here. So I'm going to read it for you quick, but you can also research it more. They're a type of black obsidian stone, and they're strong stones for grounding and protection and to aid to clear negative emotions that may be holding you back. The other thing I saw, hang on, I just want to see. There's something else about them. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of Apache tears, but I found it randomly in a store in Manhattan, and I always I don't look at the names. I don't like I need a stone for this. I just kind of whatever I'm attracted to, it usually ends up happening to be something that would be helpful at the moment. But again, remember, something has power if you give it power. So I like to hold this. I call it like my, I don't know, whatever. I like to hold it while I do readings. Their strong energy works within the base or root chakra, where it moves excess energy down into the earth chakra for grounding into Mother Gaia. The energy of the stone strengthens the blood and immune system. Again, I also recommend doctors. This is also claiming that they assimilate vitamin C and D. Again, I'm not putting a lot of stock in that one. I don't see the studies. I'm not calling that one out. Within the heart chakra, their energy will assist the emotional body to heal from old issues of an emotional nature. And then navel chakra, the sacral chakra, they aid to remove disharmonious energies in relationships. And they may bring joy as they encourage you to feel more positive about life. So I will leave it at that. You can research. I think this page that I'm getting this from is, no. Sorry. I apparently swipe weird and I don't know what I'm looking at. This is healingcrystals4you.com, but there's dashes in between the words. So I hope that's helpful for you, Miss Starry Sky. I hope you're doing well. Let's move on to Anna. I think you're up. Dan, if you want to ask a question, I don't know. If you don't, that's cool too. Thank you for always donating and supporting my channel. Hi, Genevieve. Yes, you have a question? No, you don't have one? Anna, hi. I have been in a relationship for nearly 6 months now. Will it continue through the summer and will the relationship progress? Do you want it to? Okay, so that's always a really big thing to look at. I know this is silly and this is not the psychic side, but do you want it to? Because I really believe we can manifest whatever we want. They're saying yes, it will. Yes, it will continue. It will progress. It does feel like it's moving a little bit slower than perhaps you would like. But I also feel like emotionally, it's way better for you for it to be a little bit slower because I feel like you spook easily. They said at the 9-month mark, you tend to like either self-sabotage or something else, but they're talking about the 9-month mark being significant for you for things kind of going. Can you validate that? Dan's got a question. Okay. You can go ahead and type it if you want. Have your relationships either gotten rocky or ended around 9 months? Just think about it, because that's the feeling they're giving me. I'm happy to be wrong. Okay. Y'all always know, like, I'm like, okay, I hope I'm wrong. I hope you get what you want. Like, I want things to work out for you. I want the best for you. They're just talking about that 9-month mark and sort of like a self-sabotage kind of going on. Hi, Genevieve. I feel like he's pretty patient and pretty easygoing about stuff. Like, he doesn't feel like he's, and he feels like he's actually a pretty emotionally supportive person. Like, he really tries to understand. He doesn't always like, he's not always great at really understanding, but he actually does try. Hang on, Genevieve. I want to check and see if you paid and then put you on the list. Okay. There's a whole bunch of people ahead of you. And does this make sense yes, this makes sense. Okay, perfect. I'm going to leave you with that. So I do feel like, yes, it might be a little bit slower, but it's actually to your benefit. So just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Be patient. It's hard to be patient. And this is coming from a person who works on patience. Not necessarily, it's like patience with timing, not like, All right. Okie dokie artichokes. Dan, you're up. Devry, you're after Dan. So if you want to go ahead and type. All right, Dan, you want to get a whole year? Okay, a whole year, Dan. Make it a small one. That's okay. You've donated so much. You get this. Do you want me to look at just a career, or do you want me to look at love? Like, do you want me to look at like everything, or do you want me to focus on a specific area? Hi, EQ. Who's Kiki? I got it. I got yours, EQ. I did say EQ. I'll come back both if possible. Okay. Um, um, hmm. So I feel like, so the first thing I got, I do feel like things are changing like rapidly in business is what I got. And it literally was like a tornado wrapping up and like sweeping you away. But it's almost the feeling that like, is there changing ownership or buying out or something like that and movement? Like it's, so I don't know if you're actually going to have to move, but it's like, you're not, you won't be losing your job. It just feels like getting swept away. Like, so like maybe there's a buyout and I get pulled out into that, but I know you're not losing your job and it feels like you're swept up in all of it. I feel like even more money coming in for you. Like maybe you are manifesting abundance because that's like an easy, like financial abundance, because that's like money's not your block. Like it's really easy for you for money to come in. And so you were just like, well, let's be the fun part to remind me about manifesting. And it was like it feels like this huge windfall kind of coming towards you. And the feeling I get is like, as much as you were like, I'm going to quit and then do this other thing, it's sort of like, this might make me push off just a little bit, but it actually is the benefit because this will be so much more that I'll be super cushy if I do it this way. I don't have to get in depth. Okay. Have you been manifesting just because it's like easy fun? Like that's the feeling I get. And it's like, um, I'm like trying to think of how to say the marriage one. Y'all know that I'm really straightforward. And I tell you like it is. This is like, yes is for the manifesting thing. Okay, so that's probably what it is. It's like swept up in it. Okay, so just do it. Okay. I don't want to say this is like for the worst, but I do feel like things changing in your marriage. And I do feel like it just feels like a distance. Am I right about that before I say the other thing? And I do feel like you are being faithful. So I'm not going to say like, just. Are you pausing because there's a delay? Don't. Yes. Okay. I feel like divorce is on the horizon for you. But I feel like it's like especially for her, like maybe finding someone who's more in the same spiritual mindset, like she relates to more. I don't feel like you guys are fighting a lot. It just feels like very different people. Does this make sense? Ugh. Thank you. I'm more than a personality. I'm a person. Thank you, Louie. It just feels like when you first got together, you weren't from two different worlds, and you sort of just like you were slightly different, but it was okay to look past. And then it's kind of like, but I also feel like I kind of talked about this in one of your private readings, or I don't remember, or even I don't know if maybe it was the one mentoring session, but where I was like, that there might be issues because of growth in different directions. Like, I'm sorry because it sucks to go through that, but I also feel like it's really ends up being like the best for everybody all the way around, like finding fulfillment and happiness, but not together, and like still being able to co-parent and do things well. And again, remember that when I'm doing readings, I'm looking at from a point of what plane of existence you're in now, what your mindset is now, therefore what you're manifesting now, what you're bringing into your life now. But I also believe in the multiverse theory that like that's how we're shifting and manifesting, is we're shifting between different planes of our consciousness is shifting between different planes of existence. And this is just a fragment of what our full consciousness is, what we experience here. Okay. Thank you for receiving so kindly. So if you don't like that, you shift it, right? You shift where your mindset is. I am still taking cities. I read your name. Readings. Yeah. So like and subscribe, share me with your friends. Welcome to anybody who is new. I really appreciate you checking me out. And to anybody who, hi Shaheen, you're here. So, okay, we need to add to the list. Genevieve, Laura, H, and Shaheen. You're welcome, Dan. Okay, Debri. See, Maxwell's working on getting his license and into Job Corps in Virginia. I just want to make sure, is this the right thing for him, or do we need to do something else? They said it's absolutely the right thing for him. Like it's, and they're sort of saying like, let him do it on his own. Let him do these things because he needs to take charge of his life and take responsibility for it. I feel like, the feeling is like letting other people do things for him for too long has sort of set him back in a way. And that's sort of like he needs to take responsibility. He needs to be in charge. He needs to grow up. So it's like, yeah, let him go do it. Let him do it. It might be a little bit harder, but let him do it. He needs to do these things. So the other feeling I get is like, manifest for it to be the best situation possible. Like in your head, see it as being like him coming back to you and be like, oh my God, this is the best thing I ever did. I'm so glad you were supportive, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I will check back again in a minute, Bernard, in the city. He'll be okay for sure. I feel like it's probably the best thing, like on so many levels, the best thing for him to do. Bernard, I'll check back in a second. It's not showing up just yet, but there's always a little bit of a lag. Yeah. I think the only times there's not a lag is if someone's actually paid before. I don't know what that is, but I'm not a little person in PayPal, computer world, all that. You're welcome, Devry. Allie, you're up. EQ, you're up. Lightning Spark, you're up. Oh, there you are, EQ. Okay. Send my donation. Allie, if you want to type yours, there's buffering issues. I told my kids not to play. He might be gaming. I told him not to, but I'll check. Is it still buffering? Boo. I could yell up to my kids. I don't know how to mute myself so you don't have to hear me be like, hey, yelling at the stairs. Is anybody playing Roblox up there? Oh, Roblox. I went in, like my daughter likes to use her allowance money. She'll save it up and then I get her a gift card for Roblox. So then she likes the gift card, the physical gift card, because it gets like an extra little special something that she can hoard in her treasure of things on Roblox, which isn't real or existent. God only knows how much money we put into that thing. And I just stopped. Stopped. This is what she wants to spend her money on. It's her money. She's earned it. I say that because my kids are like, where I'm like, can you just clean your room? Anyway, so she likes to get the physical card, and I went to go buy the physical card. I happened to be at this grocery store when I stopped to get some medicine when we were out to eat, and my daughter complained of a headache. And the kid, like at the register, he's not a kid, but I think he's a kid because he's a kid to me, but he's not. He's working, right? So he's like, oh, my friends and I still play this, and I'm like, it never stops. Okay. All right, so I'm curious if hummingbirds mean anything to me. I've gotten a second hummingbird gift, so I wonder if it means something to me. Okay, what do I talk about symbols? So we're going to look up what a general meaning, what one person says that this means. But remember that when you're creating a language, because all your psychic and intuition ability is creating your own language, right? With symbols, words, meanings, you place meanings to the symbols. You're creating your own language with your guides. So remember that. So what does it mean to you that now a second person has given it to you? Hi, Kate. Oh no, they're on Adopt Me in Roblox. It is like my oldest one doesn't like Adopt Me. She's like, yeah, it's kind of boring. My 8-year-old likes Adopt Me, but she doesn't like. She likes to use her money on physical toys because when we've talked about like if you stop playing the game, then you have nothing and you've poured all this money into it. So she's sort of like understanding the like that concept of it. My oldest one likes playing other games. I don't even know what they are. Sorry, great mom here. she's very innocent and sweet, and I check up on certain things, but I don't like their, just different little like detective games and whatever. And she's way more innocent than I was at her age, so she's ahead as far as I'm concerned. Okay, wait, sorry. So, Allie, you can look at when you're building a symbol, what does it feel like it means to you? This is how I teach people how to build their own language, right? So what does a hummingbird mean to you? You don't have to go outside of yourself to look for all of these answers. You can learn to build your own language. And I really encourage you guys to, because your intuition is your GPS. It's your guide. Like when I'm doing the mentoring, I'm trying to get you to build your language and learn to build your language without me. I'm teaching you the steps to do it so that you can continue to build it without me, because just because I got my psychic mediumship certification doesn't mean like when I got it, I was not where I am right now. My language kept building. They gave me the tools to use to build, to understand and build my language and keep practicing and keep growing it. But what I'm doing is I'm going to help you enough to get you to the point that you could do a reading for someone, not because I want you to go out and do readings for people. If you want to, you can, but because I want you to be so comfortable with your intuition. I want you to learn how to trust that. So you don't know, it's just surprising. It's not interesting. Okay. You're never interested in hummingbirds. So then the other thing I would look up spirit animal medicine hummingbird or whatever. This is how I would do it. So you know how to do it too, because it's not a secret. The hummingbird symbol is associated with happiness and joy. You summon the bird when life seems dull and boring. That's what this person says. And it says to heal your soul and find the right direction. Now, this one's interesting. So this is the other thing, is you're going to find different meanings. Some people are going to say it means this or it means this. That's when you can go, okay, so what is my intuition? Where do I feel most drawn to? Like this makes the most sense to line up with my life. Okay, then that's the definition I'm going to align with this symbol, right? So now I know that if I see a hummingbird and the universe shows me a hummingbird randomly, or somebody gives me another gift, I'm going to know this is what it means. There, bam, you're starting to develop your language, right? It's that simple. You just kind of go, like, you'll get a feeling or a tug or a yes, or like it feels brighter, it feels lighter, it feels, you get like, it's almost like getting drawn to that. Oh, that's it. You just know. This one says on wootandhammy.com, spelled WOOT and HAMMY.com. They can fly backwards, hover up and down. Let's see, hang on. It's basically like, hang on. They remind you to live in the moment, enjoy life's simple pleasures. Also, because they often appear out of nowhere, they remind us that joy is unpredictable and can often be just around the corner. They remind you to always seek out the good in life, because hummingbirds can reach beyond the tough, untasty parts of the flower and to find the sweet nectar within their long beak and tongue. And they're a symbol of tenacity and endurance in the pursuit of dreams, because some hummingbirds are known to travel up to 2,000 miles to reach their destination. Well, geez Louise. They eat a lot too. So that's what I do. That's how I look it up. I didn't feel called to, like, I don't have it as a symbol in my thing. I'm like, oh, I know they mean something. And that's what I do when I'm like, what does this mean? I look at it and I go, and I would take it as that one as the symbol of tenacity and enduring things and stick with it, and know that like surprises are around the corner. But I would say definitely when the universe keeps giving you a repetitive message over and over, listen, figure out what it means. Maricela, you could do, I'll let you go ahead and pay. Okay, so EQ, let me look for yours. And it is, that does mean something. If you're going to get it twice and it's not ever something you're into. All right, EQ, new on this dating app. I'm wondering if I'm wasting my time or will I meet. Okay, so let's also look at this. Like, I'm going to break that down real quick and then I'll answer the question. It's never a waste of time to do something like that, because even if you find a whole bunch of duds on there, you're going through a growth process. You're seeing what works for you, what doesn't work for you. It gives you an opportunity to figure out what your triggers are, to figure out maybe what belief systems you're holding on to that are like keeping you from the one, right? So don't ever look at things as being a waste. You're welcome, Allie. Don't ever look at things in time as being a waste or mistakes or, oh, I can't believe I did that. Like, no, you're always going to learn something. So just embrace that and enjoy that. So where's my rock in my lap? Do you want, like, don't quit tomorrow? So I can be wrong, but I actually feel like you're not going to meet the one on there, but it feels like I'll be on here for like 2 to 3 months. Maybe that's what you bought a package for. And I go through a few dud dates or whatever. And then I meet somebody shortly after I quit. So, but it's the feeling like even if you quit now, you're still going to have to wait, but it feels like there's a purpose for being on there and kind of going on some of the dud dates. Like you have something to learn from it. So it's important that you do that process. That's like one of the reasons why I really hate when people are like, what's the one look like? Or what's his name? And I'm like, please don't ask that, because I don't want you to go out and just look for those people and then you've missed all these opportunities for growth and learning and connection that maybe you need to do anyway. Doa and Hector. If you don't put your screen name on here, I'm going to be calling out whatever the PayPal name is. So I don't know what kind of privacy issues you might have, just letting you guys know. Enjoy the journey. Yeah, but I feel like actually it'll be shortly after you, and it feels like either in a work setting, it feels like a familiar setting that you end up meeting this person. Lightning Spark, you're up. And Alessandra, you're up. And then we're going to go ahead and close the list after. So Maricela, did you pay under Hector or Doa? Because I have Doa and Hector on here. After Shaheen, I've got Doa, D-O-A-A, and Hector. Thank you, Kate. Kate and I went to high school together. we played softball together poorly. Well, I played poorly. She was much better than I was. I was terrible. DI is Doa. Okay, Maricela, I'm just waiting for yours to come through then. Who's Hector? Ducks on the pond. Oh, I don't even remember that. But I mean, I remember the saying, but I don't remember. I do tell people about how we had to do sliding practice in like in the field full of goose poo, which was always awesome. Maricela. Okay, so I got yours then. And then we're going to be closed after that. So I'm going to put Maricela here. Got it. All right, good. I got your money. So Lightning Spark, where are you? Where's your question? And then KK just entered the list of who's up next. Yeah, I found your question. Oh, there we are. Oh, no, that's Love and Light EQ. Lightning Spark, what's your question? I can't find it. Maricela, I will get to you. But you've got several people ahead of you just yet, okay? Oh, thank you, KK. What message do my spirit guides have for me? Okay. Thanks, KK. What would I do without you? Okay, they said the answers are within you. They said they sort of want you to become a little bit more introspective. They literally said, what is it that you want from love? And who do you want to be with? How do you want them to reflect back to you how you feel within inside yourself? So it's kind of the same stuff that I talk to about a lot is, looking at what do you think of as being a healthy, functional relationship? What are your ideas about love? Because they're sort of saying, they're showing me now like swimming around and like trying to grasp at things. Like it's like almost like swimming in jello and like trying to grasp at things, but like not like everything's just out of reach, just out of reach, just out of reach. And they're sort of saying like, look within inside yourself. Did you hear me? You'll have to go back and listen to this. Anyway, they're saying, since you bounced out, look within inside yourself to figure out like what it is that your view is on love and what you believe love is and how you love yourself and how you wish to receive love, and start cultivating that within inside yourself so that you draw in the right person to come to you. Because it feels like, again, that I'm just everything's just out of reach, or I start to reach for it and it slips through my hands. And they're sort of like, stop moving into like relationships through desperation. Not that I think you're a desperate person, but it's like, instead of being empowered and feeling like, yeah, this is mine, I got this, this is like what I deserve, this is what I want, this is how I see healthy love being, they're like kind of like harness that energy and take control of it. The other thing I feel like you need to be reminded of is and this is kind of for everybody, don't look at social media or look at and be like, oh, I want that job, or that's my dream job, or that's dream relationship. You'll see that with like celebrity couples. They'll put like love goals, relationship goals, or whatever. Like, don't do that to yourself. Because when you manifest what you don't realize, if you're like, that's the relationship I want. No, you want that image. You want that moment, but you don't know what's really going on there. So I'm not saying looking at social media, but just in general, when you think of like, if you think of, I want this kind of love relationship, think about all the things that might stem from certain ideas, or look at however, I'm not saying you do this but people do this. So this is why I'm saying this. Like when you look at a dream job and you're like, oh, that person is I don't know, whatever, CEO, and I want to be that thing, like of that company or whatever. Make sure you want all of the stuff that comes with it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because like there is always going to be like a push and a pull, right? It's not just all positive or all negative. It's like there's a balance of all of that. So make sure you want to take all of it if you're going to look at something and say it. So instead, create in your mind, what is it that you believe a healthy relationship is? Or what would be a great functioning relationship? Like, I don't think I could ever be in a polyamorous relationship. I have no judgment on it. I get that there's people that could be in them and that function well, and that like it works for them, but it wouldn't work for me. So like, think about what it is you think healthy love is. What's a healthy relationship? What do healthy conversations look like? What do healthy, whatever it is, like think about those things. That's what you want. Look at what's stopping you from getting that. Look at your own belief systems that are stopping you from having those. Do you believe you deserve love? Everybody deserves love. Do you believe you're worthy? Everybody is worthy of it. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter physically, but maybe you have something like, oh, I'm not this enough. Break that all down and clean it out. Right. So, but there's something that's like sort of keeping it at bay is what they're making me feel like. So they're like, really look at that. Like, ask them to reveal it to you. I know that sounds strange, but like before I go into anything, before I do a reading, before I do, like, if I'm doing something for myself where I'm like before I went into that circle, the women's empowerment circle, I was like, hey, just let me get from this what I need to get from it. So whether it's just having connections with other people or having a really awesome experience in a meditation or a healing experience, let me get whatever's for my highest good. Before I do a private reading, I say whatever messages that need to come through for this person's highest good so they walk away feeling empowered and feeling lighter and more connected, let that come through. Like, I set these intentions. So if I wanted to figure out what's blocking me from meeting the one, for having the one coming in, all right, guides, reveal this to me because I want to know. Like, I don't want to be swimming around, whatever. And I know you're asking me to do that, but I feel like they're also asking you to do the work too, so that you can apply this to other parts of your life. But that's what they're telling me for you to focus on, is to start like looking at the inner work and doing the inner work. Okay, so you're stuck on one person. So let's look at it that way. So when I'm stuck on one person, do you believe you're worthy or that you're good enough for that person? Do you believe that they would like you? Do you have them on a pedestal? Do you think that they'll never notice me, or I'm not really their type? Because they're sort of saying, like, if build the self-confidence and shift your self-concept and reprogram that, because really nobody's too good for you. Nobody's too good for anybody. We're all humans having the human experience. So what are you open to? What experience do you want to have? So you're stuck on one person. What are your ideas about why it's not happening? They don't like people like me normally, or I'm not really their type. Why not just say, like, I'm their type? They choose me every time. Send payment now. Yes, Bernard in the city. So that's what's sticking it. It's like, oh, it's always been this way, so it's never going to shift. It's never going to change. So that's what they're saying, is like, they're saying to look at that, look at those inner beliefs that's stopping you from getting that. Look at what that belief system is, because that's what's holding it back. If you believe that it can happen, like, listen, anything can happen. And there's so many people saying this, so many people advertising this. Go and look at, don't even look at the people that I like. Dylan James, by the way, look at him. Look at Dylan James, because I like the way he puts things as well. Like, he's a new person, so I'm recommending him as well. But go look up famous people who aren't making any money off of manifestation. They're just saying, like, this is what I do. This is why I'm successful. This is how it works for me. There's Jim Carrey. There's Conor McGregor. I think he's an MMA fighter. He's got a ton of stuff on it. look, as crazy as a bed bug as Kanye is, that man works on manifesting. He said, like, how many years ago, I'm the best rapper in the whole world, and everybody's like, yeah, okay, crazy, but like, he's really successful. I'm going to be a billionaire, and he, like, before he was a billionaire, I'm a billionaire. Like he says this stuff now. Like, listen, there's also some mental health issues there, so I'm not saying that like follow him full, but I'm saying like, this stuff is real. Devery said at the beginning, I'm really seeing things are starting to come together, and I'm thinking like, this stuff is actually real. It's real. Look at the people who aren't making money off of it. Look at what they're telling so that it sends you into the belief system, and understanding that it really is. And look up Dylan James, because he talks about a lot about, because I think it's really important to like change our self-concept and how we feel about ourselves and reprogram all of that, because our self-esteem or the way we view ourselves and the possibility really, really shifts what we can bring into our life. I'll check in a minute, Bernard, okay? All right, Lightning Spark. Alessandra, if you want to ask your question. Lana, Alessandra, I do believe in animal spirits. They come through in readings. Ali asked if I believe in animal spirits. They come through in readings all the time. I can connect with animals. I felt my husband's aunt, we were out at their house in Ohio years ago. We haven't spoken to them in a while. Weird family rifts, whatever. And they had a golden retriever, and he was so sweet. And I went to pet him, and I felt a headache, and I was like, oh God, I actually felt stroke at the time, but I didn't want to say anything. And I was like, does he feel okay? Like, of course, like they all think I'm kooky, whatever. Feels like he has a headache. He had been throwing up that day. He ended up passing away like a couple days later from having strokes. But yeah, animals can communicate with you. Absolutely. Just energy. You're welcome, Lightning Spark. Yeah. Okay, Alessandra, let's see. You want to know what's coming soon for me in love. Alessandra, are you dehydrated and not drinking enough water? Because I just felt really dizzy. And they're also talking about bringing balance into your life. So it's like, it's a twofold thing where I feel like it's symbolic of feeling off balance and like pulled heavily to one side versus the other, like I'm not in my center. And then it's also literal, like you need to drink some water. I have my heater on because I'm in the basement, y'all. My basement's cold and damp. So this is annoying that I'm putting this on, but whatever. You can deal with it, right? And I know. Talk to me about germs. Okay, that's all accurate what I said. Okay, so they're sort of like talking about, and before love can come in, you need to find balance. It doesn't mean that, okay. It doesn't mean that you aren't lovable now or you couldn't find somebody now, but sort of what they're saying is that you've actually worked on like manifesting, and they're like making a list, like of the this or better list, or maybe even have like a little like app or something, but it's like, I put this together, and they're like, we have this person waiting. They're like in the wings waiting, and they're sort of like, find the balance so this person can come in. Because until you're balanced, this person isn't like this person that you really want, but you're like this relationship with these things and these expectations. It doesn't fit the vibration you're in right now. So we want to give you this because you can have whatever you want. And this is what you're telling us you want, but they're like, sort of like, find the balance now. So it's, finding the balance of, it's like showing up for yourself, loving yourself first. Seems like there's a theme here, guys. Do you hear it? The theme that's coming in today? Showing up for yourself, loving yourself, finding yourself, not giving so much away. I have this too, so love isn't always caring more for the other person than you care for yourself. Like if you say like there has to be balance here, this isn't working, like that doesn't mean that you don't love them. It just means that like I have to love myself too and put myself first. They're talking about no, saying no, being comfortable with saying no. And I'm not saying like in the bedroom, I'm saying like in general to anybody. If they're asking you for something, it's okay to tell people no. You're not available. You don't have to respond to things right away. You get the same thing as I'm getting for you. How wonderful is that? So I'm glad you validated that I'm right. A few years ago, I once had a face-to-face experience with a hummingbird for a good 10 seconds. Oh, that's really beautiful. Oh, Allie, that's really funny. So Alessandra, isn't it funny that your guides are telling you the exact same thing that I'm telling you now? So like, not only are they saying to you, so one, congratulations, because I think it's really awesome that you can hear them that clearly. And like, that's really cool. So own that, trust it, start trusting it more. Maybe it's a sign too that you need to trust your own intuition and what you're getting about people. So that way you're not afraid that you're going to draw in like, well, I really want this person, but I'm really afraid I'm going to pick this person that's like either my ex or like my father or like whatever. That I'm going to miss the red flags. Trust your red flags, trust your guides to give you your red flags, because they're telling you, you have to find balance before this person can come in. And then I'm telling you, you have to find balance before this person can come in. So I'm really excited that you were able to validate it for me. I'm really excited for you that you can hear it so clearly. So it's hard to find balance if you say it's hard to find balance. And it's hard to find peace if you say it's hard to find peace, right? Whatever you say is, that's how manifesting works. What did I think of the other day? And I was like, oh yeah, it's so like that. It's really brilliant like that. Now I have to remember what it was, what the comparison was. And I thought, that's so cool. Oh, you talk about algorithms in YouTube or algorithms and any like social media type search engine thing, right? Whatever you put out there, whatever you focus on comes to you. So if you look at like, if you're watching a whole bunch of videos on YouTube, like even in niches, like in like if you're like a tarot, like totally into tarot, if you're watching a whole bunch of political tarot and you're focusing on political tarot, but you're like, but I kind of want to learn about relationships, but all you're doing is focusing on political tarot and like searching those, but I kind of want to find out about relationships, but I'm searching and all I search is political tarot. All I'm going to get is political tarot readers. That's it. They're going to push all of that because that's what I'm focusing on. So now I'm like, well, maybe I need to like back that up, reprogram that. So I'm going to go into my search history. I'm going to kind of start deleting a little bit of that. So I'm going to delete these old belief systems in here. Okay. So now what I really want to focus on is relationships. So I'm going to start searching for that. I'm going to start heading that way. I'm going to get relationships, or I want to focus on astro tarot, right? Where they read for the astrology things. That I'm going to focus on that. Like, so then I get more of a general reading. I get more of a different, like, instead of hyper focused. That's all that we're doing when we're manifesting, right? Whatever we're putting out there, our belief systems, that's what's going to come back to us. That's the algorithm that's going to read to us. So change up your, oh, Katrina, the reading list is closed now, but you have to, I do charge $5 per question. And then 30% of that goes to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. I donate at the end of the session here. So what you're going to do is, I'm reading your things. I'm going to shift your thought processes here. It's, let's see. It's hard for me to find balance. No, it's not. I easily find balance. I easily find peace. I easily find my center. It all just happens. I decide that I'm balanced, and so I am, or I am always in balance. I am always manifesting being in balance. I am always manifesting finding peace within myself. Every situation, no matter what it is, I find peace within it. And I feel balanced and safe and harmonious. I'm patient. I'm patient. And I'm willing, to be open to learning and to hearing my guides rather than saying I can be stubborn too, right? But I'm also open to learning. And I know that when it's the perfect divine timing for me to receive the information and to learn it, that I will. And I'm saying to you, because I struggle with this too. So you came to the right place. All right, I'm going to move on. Lana, Rachel with the difficult screen name that I have a hard time saying. At least you told me last week it was Rachel. What does Spirit want you to know? Is your mom in spirit? I don't know who this is, or it feels like somebody recently passed, and it's the feeling of she's always in your heart. They literally said they want you to know that she's always in your heart. She's always with you. She has never left you. She's always in your heart. I don't know if this makes sense. Yes, thank you. Rack done. Is it, but you said last week it was Rachel, right? I'm not crazy on that one, right? Unless you want to go by your PayPal name. They logged me out. Let me log back in. Oh, Katrina, you paid, but I'll let you stay, but then no more, okay? Literally, I will return everybody's money who comes in after this, because I'm like, otherwise it's a long time for KK and I to stay on. Rachna. Well, I know it might be easy, but if your name is Rachna, like, let me call you Rachna. Let me not be all American and need a different name because it's just too difficult. Like, that's your name. That's your given name. That's who you are. We'll call you Rachna. That's it. Done. I'm honoring your heritage, and that's it. Lana, did I actually give you your reading? That's what happens when you're psychic. Okay, thank you. See, sometimes I need my little brain to get me back on track. Thank you, Lana. They said, be patient, love is coming. And then I literally heard Wagwan. So it's oh, KK's going to correct me again. It's it's not patois, is it? I messed this up last time too. Are you is your family from the islands, or your grandmother from the islands? Either Haitian or I don't know if you can validate any of that. Am I buffering? India. No, not Rachna. This is for Lana. This is for Lana. Lana. Patois. Yeah, okay, patois. I didn't mess it up this time. Whew. You're from the United States. Is anyone like back? Would they be from the islands? Like 3 or 4 generations back? Have you ever done the 23andMe thing? Maybe on your dad's side? I don't know why. I don't know why they would say that way. But it might make sense to you later. So hold on to that part, because sometimes things don't make sense in the moment, and then 3 weeks later, it'll make sense to you. I've had it happen to me when John Edward did a reading when I was in a small group out in Long Island, and it's like, you have an uncle in spirit. I'm like, can't think of it. And he's like, you have one in spirit. And I was like, I believe you, but I cannot think of it right now. And it was my aunt's first husband. So he had passed away. And I didn't think of it because they hadn't been married in so long. And so I didn't really consider him, he was obviously he had no contact once they divorced. So it might make sense later. Excuse me, pardon me. Sorry, yawn. I hope I didn't make all of you yawn at the same time. Maybe they wanted us to have a collective deep breath. No, this feels like an older generation. This doesn't feel like a contemporary. And I'm sorry about your sister being in spirit. But this feels definitely like an older generation. So I asked, and I said, what does she need to know? And they said that she's going to be fine, that she worries a lot. And then I heard excessive worrying. So I feel like probably in October is when I feel love coming in. And they said, just have fun and enjoy life until then, because it feels like once it happens, it's like whirlwind almost. It's very quick. Everything speeds up. So it's like, don't sit and go, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Is it here yet? Is it here yet? It's like, just enjoy life until you get there, because it's kind of a waste if you don't. Did you and your sister joke around that you you would say oh, I'm the favorite apple of the eye? Because I heard I'm the apple of the eye, or apple of mom's eye, and it's sort of this feeling of no, I'm her favorite. No, I'm her favorite. So she's here. She has a big smile. I feel like big round cheeks. Like the ball or this is the apple of your cheeks. She's showing me that and a smile. I can hear her voice. I just don't know how to describe it, because it's not raspy or anything like that. It's just, but I can hear her voice. She liked to tease you, or you kind of went back and forth. But I feel really close like this. So it didn't matter if you bickered or whatever. It was like, if anybody spoke bad about each other, it was like, oh no. Like, it was like, there was a nice bond there. Okay. So take that. I'm going to move on. Rachna, you're up now. Just enjoy, have fun. Don't worry so much. You're welcome, Lana. I think she kind of popped in to validate some of the other stuff because you're like, okay. Well, I get married and have a family. Anything, any timeline that you can say, please. What did I do wrong to have this? Oh. Okay. First of all, nothing. There's nothing you're doing wrong. You're having an experience, a human experience. And when people choose to incarnate and have their consciousness be a part of this existence, it's fucking hard. So pardon my French, but it's hard. This is the plane of existence, the plane of experience, even though I believe there's a multiverse type thing where you have the good and the bad. You have the heartache and the love and the sorrow and the shame and like all the negative that goes with the positive. You have both ends of the spectrum, and huge growth comes through that. Like, think about your life. All the areas of growth that you've had have not been because everything was going perfectly. It's been through the struggle. I don't know why that is, but that's the experience we have here as humans, and it sucks. So honor that. And, it's not like, oh, just be positive through it. Like, fucking sucks, and own that. It's okay. So I'm giving you a big hug because that sucks, and I'm sorry. Let's shift that. I am stuck in a person. So you're not stuck. You've been here. You're here. It's hard. And not saying like whatever, but it's like that generational trauma, right? So you need to start with, I love myself. I'm enough. I'm enough. I'm perfect just as I am, and I'm enough. And start saying that to yourself over and over. It's not, it's no more of a lie than telling yourself you're not worthy. So why not go with the positive one? So instead of saying I lost hope, I have hope. Even if it feels like you're lying to yourself for a while, I have hope. I have hope. I have hope. Things always change. Things are always working out for me. You need to look at Dylan James, because I really like his. Even if you're trying to not manifest another person, just find happiness within yourself. He talks about shifting that belief system. Go to Roxy Talks and do her self-concept things. Listen to them over and over and over again. It really does start to shift things, like start looking at self-concept and healing all of that. It's not that you can't find love where you're at right now. You can. But if you want to have a healthy relationship, if you want to have a happy relationship where you're not just spinning your wheels and doing like the same thing, repeating the same patterns that you have in your family life, like if you're growing up family, your birth family, if you will, unless you're adopted, then it's your adoptive family, but whatever, your core unit, your original core unit. If you don't want to repeat that, then you have to reprogram what your belief systems are about yourself, what your belief systems are about life, what your belief systems are about other people and interactions with other people. But it really does come down to yourself. Okay. So I will never say like, oh, you're never going to find anyone because you're not this. Like, no, you are perfectly capable of finding love. Everybody, it's possible, just as you are. But what kind of love do you want to find? What kind of relationship do you want to find? If it's one where it has healthy love and healthy connections, then you have to have healthy love for yourself and healthy connections with yourself. So love yourself right where you are. I finally started getting like better with my body and like kind of really like embracing it when I realized like my body is not perfect. It will never be perfect because that just doesn't like perfection perfection as a permanent state of being does not exist. You flow in and out of perfection, right? You'll hit moments of perfection and then it's gone. They're fleeting, and that's okay. That's kind of beautiful too, right? It's like the Buddhists and their mandalas, or mandalas, however you want to say it. They're done in sand because they're sort of saying like perfection is fleeting. Any moment is fleeting. Beauty is fleeting. And it's just, you move in and out of it. It exists and then it doesn't. So trying to lose weight, I am losing weight. I easily lose weight. I love my body where it is. I'm so super grateful for my body because it's carried my soul to this point. And perfect or not, it's really been an amazing, amazing thing. So I'm grateful for it being where it is. And now I'm ready for the change. And I'm ready to send along the extra weight that I no longer need with gratitude. And I'm going to start treating my body with love because it deserves it. It deserves to be taken care of because it has to house this amazing, beautiful, incredible soul that's experiencing this human life. Don't lose weight to impress somebody else because it will be, oh, I didn't impress him, so I'm not good enough, right? You lose weight for yourself. Why? Because this vehicle has to carry this amazing soul throughout your experience. And so it needs to be in tip-top shape. Like your car, just like your car needs to carry you from point A to point B. And if you literally slam it into everything, put maybe I'm not going to put this kind of gas in it that I know it runs on, most cars run on 87 octane, but say I'm going to go ahead and put the high octane in it because that's whatever. It doesn't function well on it because it wasn't built to do that. So your body wasn't built to function on sugar and processed foods and crappy whatever. It's not meant to do that. It's meant to have whole foods, healthy foods. It doesn't mean don't ever do it. It just means don't do it all the time. Treat it like you would your car. You need to take care of your car so that it lasts and it's safe, right? I do see you getting married, but I don't see it for a little while. And they're sort of saying, focus on this other stuff first, because you could get married to a gigantic asshole who's abusive to you. And if you don't have the love for yourself, you're going to accept less than that from others. And whoever, if he doesn't notice you as you are, perfect as you are right now, the body's not going to matter because he's a shallow piece of shit anyway. I mean, I just got to be honest with you. Heal the self-concept, heal this stuff. So look at Dylan James, and because it doesn't matter what weight you're at. You've seen people who are look at some famous Hollywood actors. I'm trying to think of leading men, like Pierce Brosnan and Hugh Jackman. Their wives aren't these tiny little skinny stick figures. They have beautiful bodies. They're beautiful women. They're amazing women, but they aren't this size 0, plastic eat up face and bodies. They're beautiful, regular women. And why are they with them? Because those women love themselves. Because those women take pride in who they are. Because they're I am the shit. And I own it. And that's what they fell in love with. They didn't fall in love with perfection. They fell in love with someone who was confident in who they are, loved themselves. That's what brought them in. Lose weight for yourself and feel confident that you're worth it. You're worth. Then what's going to happen is when you build the self thing, you're going to look at that guy that you have your eye on now and you're oh, I want to be this perfect, whatever. So he notices me. You're going to be oh my God, I can't believe I was about to settle for that garbage. So it's building your self-concept. So I am worthy. I am kind. So it's not and you could say, why not? I'm beautiful. I'm always chosen. I Dylan James says that. I'm always chosen. I'm always chosen. I always know the right thing to say and when to say it. All of these things that can be, oh my God, did I say the right thing? Which kind of go along with social anxiety. Social anxiety isn't always getting nervous and not being able to go out and throwing up and sweating and whatever. Sometimes it is when you come back in, you're did I say the wrong thing? Did I do the wrong thing? Did I do this or that? It's a whole thing of rebuilding reprogramming this beautiful computer in here. We reprogram, we update, we upgrade our apps and our computers all the time. Do this one too. So first of all, I'm confident. People love hanging out with me. They like being in my energy. Like, you tell yourself lies all the time about what people think about you. Right. Reprogram your subconscious. Look at some of these other channels, because that's what they really, really focus on. And I really like Dylan James. I've watched several of his videos. I really like, I like Roxy Talks affirmations. She's got a lot of affirmation like things on there for self-concept. And because it's nice to hear it from a woman's point of view. Sometimes when a man says it, no offense, like they're saying what they think women want. It's not always right. That's what I recommend. I do see that happening for you. I don't see it for a while, but they're sort of saying like, I think it's really beautiful to be willing to look at yourself and heal things at this point in your life, like early on, rather than like later, after you've already gone through relationship after relationship and heartache after heartache and beating your head and wondering why there's this pattern and those experiences, when you can do it when you're earlier on. You can manifest anything you want. And that's like what Dylan focuses on, is specific person. So manifesting love. But in order to manifest a healthy love, you have to love here too. And the reason why your life has probably been hard is you were born into a family, and we all, listen, nobody has a perfect family. Nobody has a perfect anything. So most families are dysfunctional because we're human, right? And it's a generational thing, and it gets passed down. These belief systems get passed down, and it isn't until somebody is willing to go, this doesn't work. How do we reprogram this? Because I don't want to keep doing this over and over again, where that one person in the family, the unicorn of the family, not the black sheep, the unicorn of the family goes, let me fix this. So it has to start within me. And I'm sorry that you're in this like tough spot, but it's also a really beautiful place to be, because you're open to healing. And sometimes when we get in that low spot, like it's just before like the sunshine comes out after the rain and the thunderstorm, and you start to see the rainbows and the double rainbows and all of that, really incredible. And the grass is super green from all the lightning, and the tree leaves are really green. That's where the beauty is. And that's like where I feel like you're right before all of that starts to hit. Okay. Maya, you're up. Eleanor, Genevieve. Maya, you have 2 questions. You can do this. You can do this, Racha. You can do this. I got it, Maya. So go ahead. Yep, I got it. So go ahead and do the 2. It looks like several years, Rachna. It's not 1 year. But I think you're going to be so focused on working on you and healing you that it honestly feels like time is like speeding up. Like, I can't even believe that it's the middle of May already. It feels like time is just warp speed. You're welcome, Rachna. We should be encouraging each other, right? General for Maya? Okay. I can't believe I'm about to run out of my water. I'm so thirsty. Okay. So they want you to focus on your throat chakra right now and healing and activating your throat chakra, because it feels like I'm still having a hard time vocalizing my needs, wants, desires. I'm still having a hard time setting healthy boundaries. And so they're sort of focusing on healing that. So look up stuff about how to set healthy boundaries, how to say no and be okay with it. Like it's that feeling of you can say no and not have to like explain why you're saying no or why you're not available or why you can't participate or whatever it is. And it's like you say no and then you feel like you have to justify why you're saying no. And they're sort of saying like you don't owe anybody any justification. And I'm come from this from a place of knowing and being in this space. That's why they're showing it to me. Like even my therapist, when she was like, you seem to feel like you have to justify everything. And I was like, yes. And then I went through a whole thing of justifying to her why I felt like I had to justify anything. And it hasn't been until like recently where I was like, I've really been just reading a lot, like following a lot of therapists and like going, oh, and like seeing these different patterns and going, oh, that's what that was. But it was meant for me to figure it out now. Like my therapist, when I was in intensive therapy for 4 years, like working out all of this shit from childhood, they were like, you know, she gave me the tools and the healing in those moments. And then it was like, oh, I can keep growing and healing on my own. Like, it's not just a like, okay, you're done, good to go. It's like perfect forever. Like it's a process, right? And it's like, it happens over time and you evolve and you go, oh, wait, I still have a little bit of cleaning that needs to be done there. I still have some stuff that can be like thrown out there, like some garbage that's been hiding in the corners that I didn't know about or dust or whatever. So they're sort of saying like my feeling is in sense is like doing lots of like visualization of clearing out your throat chakra and light and energy coming through your throat chakra, finding throat chakra clearing meditations to like work on, and then like really research setting boundaries and healthy boundaries and how to do that, and understanding too that when you do set boundaries, you're going to get kickback because that's what people who don't respect boundaries do. The only one who has to respect your boundaries is you. So if other people don't, like if you ask them, you're like, you say like, this is like my boundary. And then they're like, oh, let me try and push it a little bit. Like it doesn't matter. Cause if you're respecting it, then it can be like, okay, like I already, like you call them out on it. And then maybe you're like, okay, maybe we like distance ourselves, or maybe we cut off this relationship, whatever you have to do, like depending on the circumstances. Obviously it's not everybody is one and done. Right. It's sort of like researching that, looking at that and learning to set your boundaries and be okay with setting your boundaries and knowing that like, it doesn't matter if it's totally absurd, it's still your boundary and you're entitled to it. It doesn't matter if they triangulate and go, well, nobody else does this. You're like, that's cool, but I do. So this is me. Okay. And then the other thing about like what you learn is that you learn to be insanely respectful of other people's boundaries once you respect your own boundaries. And it doesn't mean you're always perfect. It just means that you are able to like go, oh, I really probably should have done something differently there. What's your other question? And then Eleanor and Genevieve, you're up next. Yesterday was one of the worst days. Okay, wait. So they said May 15th was important, right? And maybe you did. Maybe that was the awareness. Maybe that's what that was. Maybe they're highlighting it because that was the day of becoming aware and understanding, right? And going, oh, wait, maybe I'm doing this. Like, I can't always explain why they give me the things that they do and the way they do. And instead of going like, it's this day. But maybe you needed to have that really crappy, horrible day to like recognize like, maybe there is something I'm doing that's creating all of this. I mean, I had a huge awareness recently of like, oh, that's how I'm creating this. Oh, okay. Well, isn't that beautiful? Because now I can fix it. What do you mean you wonder what? So it's like, so you can ask your guides, right? So it's like, what am I doing to create keeping love away? Well, so this throat chakra is part of it, right? And they're really just talking about not feeling worthy, not feeling like deserving. And it's more of like, not that I don't deserve to be loved or worthy, but it's like almost like always putting other people's needs first, always feeling like my happiness comes last. That if I just, this is all from your childhood, if I just keep the peace here, then everybody else will be happy and I'll find happiness in the little tiny corners. I'll be okay no matter what. And then also fearful of drawing in more of what you were experiencing as a child. It feels like a lot of chaos. So now you know, now you reprogram. First of all, you weren't that little girl. You aren't that little girl anymore. Right? So you can heal all of that. You are adult you can keep you safe. You don't have to allow people in that aren't going to take care of you, that aren't going to be kind to you, that don't have your best interest at heart, that aren't willing to be healthy and harmonious. Doesn't mean that you never fight or disagree. It means that you can do it in a healthy way and approach it in a healthy way. So I honestly, it's another thing where I'm like, I don't really see love coming in right away, but it's like this realization that happened yesterday. We're like, oh, that it creates this huge like gift of healing, like, and sends you on this different journey that sort of focuses on the love for you. And when you really find that love for you, then it's like, it just hits, like everything that you have manifested and wanted in a partner just hits. Eleanor, my Band-Aids are falling off. So I did some yard work quick yesterday. I've been wanting to, I'm the lazy gardener. I don't want to be out there. Like, we have really rocky clay-like soil. We live in the First Watchung Mountains, like whatever, it's Watchung. And so I wanted wildflowers to grow, but I needed like break up the dirt or whatever. And I was using a, whatever it's called that breaks up the dirt. And it didn't hurt when I was doing it. And then all of a sudden I looked down and my skin is like all torn on both of my thumbs. I wasn't wearing gloves. So double Band-Aids. It's going to feel good with weights tomorrow. So excited about that. Okay. Oh, here we are. All right. So I feel like, Maya, what I feel like, I don't feel like it's a relationship. I feel like there's a huge shift in 3 to 4 months. So whatever work you're doing between now and then feels like it's a huge shift. It might be a little bit longer, but I feel like what happens is you do this huge shift and then you go through a pattern of like weeding out some more changes. So like dating off and on a little bit and weeding out some changes, and then someone comes in. So maybe 9 months before you really kind of meet someone and it clicks a little bit better. New chapter. Can you please tell me, what does the future hold for me and Junior's connection? Will it progress into anything deep? I feel like he's not putting in much energy in the connection anymore. You're welcome, Maya. Listen, I told you time is like speeding up, so it's going to go by like this. Just focus on you and the time will come by really quickly. They go, he's not worth her time. She doesn't see it. Someone new is coming in 6 months. But what I recommend is, again, I'm going to talk about manifesting, right? If you don't like my answer, shift it. If you're seeing him as showing up as not the connection is fading, then the connection fades. That's how it works. That's how manifestation works. You create what it is. That's why I really like this Dylan James guy for a relationship, because he talks about his personal experience with his husband. I think they're married now. Looks like he has a ring on. Adam, how they are. He's like, when I first started and how I was nervous. And if I had created this, then it would have happened this. Like, so I just had to focus and focus on, of course he wants me. I'm chosen. He chooses me every time. Like if you're relaxed, then you're not like, why aren't you texting me? You're just like, oh, whatever. He'll text. He's busy. He'll text me when he wants. He'll get back to me when he wants. Like, it's rebuilding this like confidence in yourself. Like, of course he wants to be with me. Why wouldn't he want to be with me? Like, I mean, that's just like absurd. Like, you lie to yourself all the time that you're not good enough. Why not lie to yourself, lie to yourself and say how amazing you are? Why not? Why is that any more absurd? Why is that the thing that society accepts? Like, oh yeah, it's totally normal to feel like you're not good enough, rather than be like, oh my God, you're crazy that you think you're so amazing. Why have we created that concept? That hating yourself is totally acceptable and loving yourself is arrogant, egotistical, whatever like thing that they've created. Why? Okay. So what I feel like is he's not good enough for you, somebody new coming in 6 months. But maybe what happens is you're like, screw Anna, I'm going to shift this. I'm going to go in and change my self-concept. And then your self-concept changes and you're like, I can do so much better than that. And you end up drawing in somebody who attracts your eye more. That's the feeling I get. Genevieve, Laura H, Shaheen, DI, and Maricela, you guys are up. So Maricela, I'm going to keep yours last because I think you want to. I want to be able to roll through and mediumship. I don't know if you need mediumship or not, but I saw something about your husband passed, ex-husband passed. So I just want to kind of figure this out. That takes a little bit longer. So Genevieve, Laura H, Shaheen, you guys are up. Okay, go ahead and ask your questions. You're welcome. You're not going to be arrogant. Being confident doesn't mean you're arrogant. It means like, I know what I'm worth. I know my value. And it's okay for me to know my value and know my worth and like own it. Well, they're just belief systems that have been followed for a really long time and we can shift them. Hi, Heather. I hope you're well. Okay, so Laura wants a general reading. Genevieve and Shaheen, you guys are up now. Give Laura a general reading. Was this yours last time where I felt like the energy coming in different ways and like feeling like you're blocked, but you're not blocked? And like you're still getting, like you were getting like cross traffic? Just say yes or no, because I'm going to tell you what it is if this was yours. I am closed for questions at this time, Heather. I am back. Okay, good, because I have more on this then. Okay, Heather, I have every Sunday I am here at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you go to my if you subscribe here, you'll find out when I go live. But if you also go to my website and subscribe to my website, I send out an email each week that just reminds you that I'm going on and with the thing. And I'm also going to start something new with that. So, yeah. Okay. So, Laura, this is what I got. So I was like, oh God, why am I hearing I was hearing 3 different songs, but I could actually make out the words from it. So I feel like what they're telling me is that you're starting to make progress. It's still muddled. It's still getting cross traffic, but it doesn't feel the same way as it did before. Because before it just felt like flowing, and I couldn't make anything out, and then flowing this way and I couldn't make anything out. And there was no, it was just lots of energy. And this time it was I feel like I'm listening to 3 different radio stations overlapping, but I can still hear some songs here and there. So I feel like you're making progress. Because I'm like, is this the one who did this? Does that make sense? You've been working on sort of connecting in and you're still not sure. So there's sort of they're telling me to ask you to slow it down a little bit more. It's still more deep breathing and relaxing into it instead of being nervous about what's going to happen. It's sort of, again, set more intentions, okay, the messages and images that are going to come through clearly. It doesn't have to mean anything. It can mean everything. It doesn't matter. I'm okay. I know that whatever I get is safe, that it will always be of the highest love and light, that I will never get any doom and gloom information. Okay. Hang on, Genevieve. Okay, I got it, Genevieve. Hold on. Let me finish with Laura's. I got your question. You don't have to keep saying it. Yeah, so set the intentions before you connect in, because I feel like it will help you even more. So it's you're making progress. So instead of just getting a whoosh of energy, I'm getting I'm hearing a couple overlaps. So I'm that's 3 different songs you're telling me right now that I can hear. And it's not techno where it's in line where it's it's a smooth transition. It was literally all 3 playing at once. Okay. All right, Genevieve, now I will do yours. Shaheen, Di, and Maricela. And there's one other person after that paid and I said could go. I think. Katrina. Oh, Bernard, I have yours too. Okay. Bye, Racha. Genevieve, do you want to do business or love for 3 to 6 months? Or do you want to focus? That's a big question for a quick $5. Hang on. Sorry, I just answered it for you. So they said, I actually feel in 5 months, your job is going to change. Either they're moving you to a different, it just feels movement. So I don't know if they're transferring you somewhere else or if you're moving offices or moving departments, but there's a movement in 5 months. And they were specific about the 5 months. So I felt going smooth, and then 5 months, there's a big change. But I don't feel you'll be fired. I don't feel I'm without a job. I just feel movement. And I feel because I said, well, how do you see it going? There's it goes well. It feels taking it in stride and doing well. It's just part of the growth pattern. So if you're setting out there to grow in your career, and make movement, like this is when it starts to hit and happen. So if you've been working on manifesting and working on when does this all start to fall in place, this is the when, is in 5 months. So you'll start to see inklings of the moving and the change in about 3 months, and then the actual change in about 5 months. Does this resonate with you? Genevieve, are you there? Shaheen, if you want to ask your question, then I've got Di, Maricela, Bernard, and Katrina. I didn't skip you. Not at all. Just a long list. So does that make sense to you, or does that resonate with the manifesting part? Sometimes if somebody asks a question, like I'll list a couple of people to ask their question, because some people are there's a lag on their time. And so it's just to help me kind of speed up time and get through these, because I never really wanted to do this for 2 hours. Business. I answered your question. So there must be a lag a little bit. So I did answer your question, and I said that I saw, if you want to listen back, I said that I saw movement. This is at about the 2-hour mark, just a little bit before. I said I saw change. So there's a shift in your career. I felt like that you've been manifesting stuff, and it feels like you've been manifesting growth in your career and movement. So it feels like in 5 months is when that actually occurs. I don't know if it means, I saw movement, so I don't know if it means I'm transferred. So I actually move cities, if I move in the company, or if I move like an office, but it feels like there is big movement then. And it feels like you start to see inklings of it in 3 months. Does that make sense, that you've been manifesting growth in your career? Can you validate any of that? I'm not going to repeat it again. Yes. Okay. So you can validate that. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with that. Shaheen's first question is, I didn't realize she had 2. Sorry. She did pay for 2. I just didn't say it. Sorry. You're doing great. Could I please get a general reading, and which should I focus on? What do you mean, what should you focus on? So they said you're doing fine, but it feels like you should amp up the amount of time that you're spending on focusing on your career, like your growth. It feels like whatever it is, like that if you did that, it would be like, it would move things along faster. It feels like, not to say that you're being lazy, but you're being like a little apprehensive in the amount of time that you're spending doing it. Like you're sort of self-sabotaging. Okay. And they're sort of saying like, cut it out. You're welcome, Genevieve. You're self-sabotaging. Stop it. Sorry, I have to pull out of Genevieve's because it crossed over. Nothing wrong with you. It was mine. Like I kind of went that way. Sorry. Does this make sense for you, Shaheen, when I say this? Like, it just feels like if I'm wanting to start my own business, aside from like something on the side, the feeling I get is like, I'm not putting enough focus on it. I'm just kind of daydreaming about it or putting a little bit of work into it. But they're like, you need to like that's what your spare time needs to be focused on. Like, and it also feels like you need to be better with time management, because it's sort of like you're giving all these excuses about why you don't have enough time, but really they're saying like you could be more efficient with your time. You're welcome, Genevieve. Does this make sense, Shaheen? The second question is, what should I focus on, work or moving? It resonates. I feel like focusing on work, not moving. It feels like focusing on that, because that's what they're talking about. Focusing on that and being more time efficient. And then I feel like the move gets pushed off a little bit, like maybe a year. And then I redirect and go, oh, now's the best time, because I actually now know, like, now that I've got this and that, I've got a better sense of what I want, where I want to move, and why I need the space and how I'm going to make it functional, rather than if you just move now, it feels like I would move into this space. It wouldn't be quite big enough or quite right. And I'd have to move again in a year because I redid this businessy thing. So focusing on work is really where you need to be. Okay. DI, Maricela, and Bernard, and Katrina, you guys are all up. Hi, Dee. I'm not asking about his looks or anything, like where we will meet, but I would like to know anything you see regarding my next romantic partner. Thank you for clarifying that. I actually think you'll meet online. Really and truly, like, it's a feeling of like meeting online. I don't know which one. I wish I could say, like, but really and truly, like, I mean, there weren't as many apps when I met my husband online, but there weren't as many apps when I was doing it. And there weren't apps even then. They were just online sites, right? But there weren't as many back then, but it just feels like, but like, it was like the same people on every single one, right? Like across the board. I know you're not an online dater, but I think you might be. It's the feeling of meeting somebody online. So maybe you're not a dater. Maybe it's a Zoom meeting or something that like a friend sets up like as a get together. I don't know what it is, but it's like somehow that's the feeling I got, was meeting somebody online and being surprised about it. Probably because you say you don't do it. You should have boundaries. You should have boundaries regardless. Always. And you can have boundaries by doing online dating, but that's just what they're showing me. And I feel like he's a little more lighthearted, and he might be there might be a little bit of an age difference, like 5 to 7 years. And he feels like more easygoing than you're used to. He may be an entrepreneur, because or whatever he doesn't put him in like a business suit or a uniform of any sort. Like, so I don't get like doctor or lawyer type feeling. It would either be like tech or being an entrepreneur. So I'm not really required to wear something specific to work, or, more of the millennial type office wear, where it's like you dress, you don't dress like a schlep, but there's not like this stiffness about him. He feels really relaxed. Okay, Katrina, I'm going to hold yours, because mediumship takes just a little bit longer than a straight question, because I sort of have to make sure I'm connecting in with the right person. So let me get Maricela and Bernard first, and then I will get you, I promise, Katrina. And then also with Katrina, if you could just give me your mom's name, because that does help too. It's sort of like I have to do the like connect in with her and get all the information and then validate it with you. It's just a little bit more back and forth, and then just give messages. So I need Bernard or Maricela, someone please step up, or I'm going to just refund your guys' money because I'm in here over 2 hours and Katrina is here. So Manuela. But she went by Nellie. Okay. I know a Nellie and I love her. She was, I haven't used her for babysitting in a long time, but she babysat for me when I had Jillian and when April was first born. I mean, Daisy was first born. She's a very sweet lady. Okay, Bernard in the city. Bernard in the city. Are you here? Are you here? I'll give you one more minute and then I'm going to go with Katrina's and I'm going to shut it down and refund people money because I cannot sit here for 45 minutes waiting for you guys to show up because you left. Okay, so you know what, Katrina, that's what we're going to do. I'm not even going to wait because I already called her name several times and that's the way we're going to do it. So we're going to reach in with Nellie and then we're going to close it out and I will refund people's money because, okay. All right, so she liked to dance because they were like playing, I don't know if you know Gypsy Kings, but like the guitar part of Bamboleo where it's like, doom, da, 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 doom, doom, da, 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 da. I don't know if she actually liked Gypsy Kings or whatever, but it's just this feeling of like, I love music. I like to dance. And I just feel like her perfume smells like flowers. So whatever it is, it's not this like pungent, over aromatic. It's just, I just feel like the feeling is I always smell like flowers. I do feel a heaviness in my chest, like it would have been hard for me to breathe at the end. I don't feel like I'm intubated, but I feel like I'm requiring oxygen assistance. And it's like, I just can't get enough breath in. Ah, Maricela, finally. Type your thing. I'm going to finish with Katrina and then I'll go with yours. J'adore. I don't know what that is. J'adore. I mean, but does it smell like flowers? I didn't, Maricela. I'll be with you in a minute. Before she passed. Okay. So she's with me. She's making me aware of her hips and her like, so I feel like she would have carried a little more weight here in her hips and her rump, her culo. That's what I'm smelling, is the flowers. So maybe that's what it is. So she's making me feel like she's like reassurance that she's fine. And she says, I wasn't alone. So even if you couldn't be there with her, she's actually making you feel like she saw a lot of spirit with her. So she's like, I never felt alone. I feel like she, I don't know if your father's in spirit, but it feels like this feeling of like, he's here. She's showing me a gentleman with gray hair, like salt and pepper gray hair and a mustache. And being a little bit thinner. He might have had liver problems when he went because it's sort of like that tone where it looks almost a little bit jaundiced. Does any of this resonate? He would have also been a smoker because he's showing me the fingers like you know when someone's a heavy smoker, they would have had yellow in their fingers, like kind of their fingers get stained from the nicotine. It could be her father, but it's like, it feels like it's feeling of a father figure. So I don't know if it's yours or hers. But it's just this feeling of like, I wasn't alone. I was okay. Like, I also feel like she was fairly spiritual. Hers. Okay. I'm getting a weird feeling on top of my head. Did she have something either have, it would be either an impact or having like a stroke or a tumor or something, because she's bringing the awareness really right here, and it's really sensitive inside my head. It's funny, she had cancer. Did it metastasize to the brain? So the feeling I get is, it's really interesting, because as I was talking about that, and before I saw that, I was seeing her morphed and seeing two parts of her. And she's saying, don't remember me that way. Because she said, like, she was showing me when she first came in, really full of life and beautiful and healthy. And then showing me sort of this like really thin and gaunt and like kind of gray in color, like not like this vibrant, like it was like two very, different aspects of who she was. And she says, don't remember me that way. Remember me this way, full of life, vibrant, enjoying things, enjoying life, and pink and pretty. Like, you know what I mean? Like having like rosy cheeks and feeling like having vibrant color to me, and vibrant color in my clothes, not this other part of me. She is visiting you in your dreams, by the way. She's like, that's real. That's me. That's real. I also feel like sometimes you get whiffs of her scent. Like that's really important. And she's saying that you are. So it's like that's not in your mind. Like when you think you smell me, or you think you, like, that's me visiting you. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that, just because I could go. I mean, we could work these for a long time, and I just think it's important that you know that she's around you, she's with you, that she's okay and she's happy, and this not to worry, not to spend time dwelling and worrying on things that were but a moment, is the feeling I get. Like, don't. It was just a moment in time. Okay, you're welcome. You're very welcome, Katrina. Okay, Maricela. Hi, Louie. I don't have a great video of a bio background. I have a bio written out on my website, myspiritualfriend.com. There's a bio on there. Maybe I should make a bio one. The one that's on here was like from 2 years ago. I probably should redo it. It's not that great, because it's sort of what my idea what the channel was, and the channel's morphed into something completely different. Thank you, Louie. Yeah. So definitely have Irish. But more, well, there's psychic energy healing stuff on both sides of my family, but nobody does what I do, or nobody did what I do. Definitely not as gifted. Okay, I'm looking for Maricela. Can you just type your question? Bernard in the city, where are you? Yeah, because I can't scroll back through these 80,000. So it's usually good to just type your question when I ask you for it. Sorry. Maricela, are you gone again? guys. I don't want to be here any longer. There you are. Well, my ex-boyfriend and I reconciled soon. Thank you. I know there was a long thing with that, and I can't scroll back up. It'll take me too long to find it. So I appreciate you retyping it. Will my ex-boyfriend and I reconcile soon? So I feel like he'll be back, but it also feels like in the next 2 weeks, they're giving me 2. So that could be 2 days or 2 weeks. It doesn't feel like much longer than that. But I also feel like he'll be gone again because it just feels like not fixing the problems that need to be fixed. I'm feeling really dizzy. Is he like short by chance or short-ish? He's not a tall gentleman. And then if that's true, then I'm going to add in, then I think what the feeling is that I'm getting with him. If it's not, then I think the feeling is with you. The dizzy feeling I'm getting. That's short to me. Bye, Mary. Sweet dreams to you. Does he smoke weed? And I'm not judging it, but it's just like I felt really dizzy, and it might be an alcohol thing, but I'm leaning more towards being weed. And just the feeling I get is like not processing a lot, sort of has a like, and not to say that all weed smokers are like this. I'm not judging it, but it just feels like he uses it to escape and not deal with stuff. You're dizzy with bad vertigo. So it could be yours, but then there's also this feeling of substance abuse stuff with him. So does he smoke weed? I think 5'8" is short. That's just me. My husband's short. Right. I think there's a delay. So does he smoke weed? I don't care. I'm not judging. I'm just asking this because this is the way they're making me feel, is that he has a substance abuse issue, that he's not using it. Like, I don't care if people do it, whatever. There's no judgment here. It's just like, that's what they're showing me. It's very matter of fact. I don't really care if someone smokes weed. It's a feeling of, so it doesn't feel recreational. It feels like doing it for like as a way to escape and not process any of my shit. Thanks, Louie, though. Louie, maybe it is you. Okay, so maybe it's your vertigo and him not processing stuff. He's a big nerd. Is he emotionally unavailable? I mean, I get that you're not in contact, but when you were in a relationship? Bye, KK. Sorry, dear. See, this has been really long. Okay, so I need to put the kibosh way earlier on. Could be. It doesn't happen often here because I ask my guides to be really super strict about it. The feeling I'm getting, so someone can quit drinking and quit being an alcoholic and they still have dry drunk tendencies, right? They're called dry drunks. They still have alcoholic substance abuse tendencies because they don't deal with their stuff. So they don't process stuff. They don't process their emotions. They tend to put their stuff out on other people. I can't remember what so does he not process his emotions well? Okay, so you can have the tendencies and the things and the personality behaviors of somebody who uses but doesn't use. Okay. So I think what I was saying is that he'll come back in like 2 weeks, you'll be together, but then it'll kind of fall apart again because he's not doing what he needs to do. Like, it's not a good functioning, healthy relationship. Like, you're sort of in this mind space of, I want a relationship like this. And you see that he's still falling into the same old pattern. So it sort of fizzles apart again within a couple of months. So that's my answer for you on that. Bernard in the city, I'm going to have to return your money because it's really long. KK's never left me and she's been on here for a long time. So I'm signing off. I'm saying goodnight and I've got to cut this short. I hope you guys have a great week. I will see you next Sunday, same time, same place. Have a good one.